Hello, ladies. I'm running just a few minutes behind, but I'm so excited to talk to you tonight. Tonight, we are going to discuss weight loss and also muscle growth and how calories and macros will change your body and change your life. Macros, just to be upfront before we go into this, are how much protein, carbs, and fats you should eat for your goal. So that's what we're talking about today. When I was all throughout my life after age 45, when I hit the gym and tried to work out, I'm going to tell you, I didn't see many results and I didn't understand why. I remember putting on Facebook that I said, before I turn 50, I'm going to have abs. And so I called myself out in front of everybody on my Facebook group and really put myself in a place where I was going to work hard and there was no backing out for me, right? So at 49, I'm like going to the gym. Months at a time, I went to the gym. And I was killing it. I went 6 or 7 days a week, a lot, an hour to an hour and a half every single day. And you want to know what happened? I failed. I didn't have abs when I showed up at 50. I was so upset. I worked so hard and I got stronger, but I worked very hard to see very little results. And I want to tell you guys what kind of happened. And, I was just really frustrated going through menopause and those types of things. And I wondered why my body was just, when you're younger, when you're 20, 25 years old, losing weight seems to be pretty easy. I remember I painted a room one time on the weekend, and by the next week I was 5 pounds less. Isn't that crazy? I just painted a room. And now, after the age of 45, I'm 55 now. After the age of 45, oh my gosh, getting weight off was the hardest thing. I couldn't figure it out. And the only way I knew how to get it off was to basically quit eating. Well, that doesn't work, right? That doesn't work at all. And it's abusing your body. And so I had to do a lot of study, and I got a lot of tips here, tips there, and really took in a lot of information and had a lot of failures before I finally had success. So working out all the time was not my answer. Although working out is important, and I work out all the time now. And the reason I'm talking about calories and macros is because, working out all the time, like I told you, when I was doing that, I didn't get the results. I didn't get the abs before age 50 that I told the whole Facebook I was going to do, right? I failed in front of everybody. But I learned that no matter how much I worked out, I wasn't going to see the results if I didn't have something right. And I honestly just thought at that time, I didn't know what else to try, because I tried keto, I tried, low fat, I tried all these different things, these fad diets, and none of them were working for me. And so I wondered, what is wrong? Why can't I transform my body? Why can't I lose this 40 to 45 pounds that I need to lose without starving myself to death? And so that's why today I wanted to talk to you about calories and macros and why they're so important. The first thing that I'm reminded of is I have clients that come on and they tell me, Allie, I don't know why I can't lose weight. And at our age group, I'm 55 now, but between the ages of 40 and up, we wonder, why can't we lose weight like we used to? And there are different things that are happening. The hormones are kind of going everywhere. But I'm going to tell you, these things right here are the first place you need to look. You need to look at your calories. First of all, calories are number one. If you want to lose weight, calories do matter. And we might be burning less calories now than we did when we were younger. And there's a reason for that. So as we age, we start losing muscle naturally after the age of 30. So our muscle, however much muscle we have, determines how fast or how slow our metabolism is. How many of you ladies feel like you've had some muscle loss? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm not the only one that felt that way or feels that way, because I definitely had muscle loss. One thing that causes that muscle loss is simply we're aging, right? And so when you age, you start getting progressively have some muscle loss. But you can stop that, and we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? You can rebuild that. But here's another thing that causes great muscle loss in most of us women: crash dieting. Did you know that crash dieting will cause you and I to lose muscle? It does. One of the biggest reasons I hate that is because of how we look and feel. When we lose muscle, we got that squishy, we might get skinny, but we got that, what I like to call skinny fat look, right? And so when I lost weight after the age of 45, I got that skinny look, but my sides still came out over my pants. Everything jiggled really bad, and my tummy and all that. And I was skinny, but I looked different than I looked when I was young. That has a lot to do with muscle loss. And a crash diet will cause you to lose muscle. Our bodies are trying to survive in a low calorie situation. And here's what happens. When we go into low calories, our bodies say, hold on, I got to slow the metabolism down. We're on low calories now. I've got to survive. Maybe there's a famine. I've got to survive it. And so our body consumes our muscle. Now listen, and it stores fat. Consumes muscle and stores fat. And when I kept crash dieting, each time I did that, I was lowering my muscle, which in turn lowered my metabolism rate, which means I was burning less calories sitting around the house or even working out. Okay? And then I was storing fat. So I was now skinny, but squishy everywhere. I remember looking down at my legs and I had a pair of shorts on, and we were on a road that was not a bumpy road. But I looked down and I noticed it because my legs were like Jello. And I kid you not when I say like Jello. They were literally like a bowl of Jello, and they were doing this. And we were on a bumpy road, and I thought, what is going on? I didn't understand that I had major muscle loss. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why my body looked skinny, but I looked bad. And that was why. And so when you go on a low calorie diet, I want to tell you can go on a low calorie diet. And the reason these macros we're going to talk about are important is because these macros help you to retain and hold on to that muscle and only lose fat. How many of you ladies want to hold on to your muscle and only lose fat? If that is you, then I'm going to tell you how you do that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're here and you want to hear about it, I need to hear from you, because Facebook algorithm says if I don't hear from you, hardly any ladies see this post. So if you're here, give me a thumbs up or a hey or something and let me know that you're here and talk back to me, okay? Let's make this a place where women that are in our group get to actually see our talks, because these talks are important to our life. Can you give me a thumbs up, Caroline? How about Christy? Melissa, hey, how are you? Say hey. Molly, it's good to see you ladies on here. Are you here? Give me a thumbs up. Hi. Okay, so let's move on. So our bodies are losing muscle, which slows our metabolism down as we age, and we are storing the fat. We aren't burning as many calories. So you guys might see that your waistline's getting thicker. Some of that has to do with hormones, but not all of it. Most of it has to do with sarcopenia, which is muscle loss, okay? And we can definitely change that. So how many of you ladies have heard someone say, or have had someone tell you that you shouldn't be eating under a certain amount of calories, and they'll give you a number like 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 calories if you want to lose weight. You just should not go below this line. How many of you? Is there anybody out there? I have. Have you heard? Well, if there's a certain number you've heard of, I want you to put it in the comments and let me know. The number I hear people say all the time is, if you want to be careful and go on a diet, you don't want to go below 1,500 calories. Okay, I hear that all the time. Don't go below 1,500 calories. Well, they want to kind of set that across the board. If you want to lose weight and you're tracking calories, don't go below 1,500 calories. And I want to tell you, that is a myth. What if you're 5 foot or you're 4'11" and you weigh 130 pounds and you're eating 1,500 calories every day trying to lose weight, what happens, ladies? You don't lose weight. As a matter of fact, you might gain weight. So that is not a true number. That is a number that people who don't know really much about what they're talking about will throw out. And they'll just say, 1,500 calories, you want to lose weight, don't go below. Let it go in one ear and out the other. That is bunk. And I don't know what bunk is, but my grandma used to say, that's a bunch of bunk. Have you guys ever heard that saying? So that's what I've heard. So don't listen to that. That is untrue. Okay. So if you're 4'11", 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", and you're trying to lose weight and you hear that kind of nonsense, ignore it. Because here's the thing, calories do matter. You know, I don't know, I didn't understand that myself. I thought, well, I don't want to drop my calories down too low. But here's the thing, calories do matter. You know, your calories determine what your scale weight is. If you're eating too many of them, your body weight goes up. If you're eating less of them than you are using throughout the day, your body weight goes down because you're burning that extra fuel. You're burning that fat, that extra fuel, our fuel reserves on our body. You start burning that. So calories do matter. Even when we're going through menopause, they still matter. Yes, we might be burning calories at a slower rate, but we can speed that up. So number one, you need to know what your maintenance calories are. Your maintenance calories are the calories that it takes you every single day to stay at your exact weight you are right now, okay? And to lose a pound a week, here's what that looks like. Once you find out your maintenance calories, and to find those out is pretty simple. You do math. It has to do with your height, your weight, and your age, and you do a math problem. And once you figure that out, you can come really close, and your activity level, and you can come really close to kind of knowing where your calories are to stay at your weight right now. Okay, those are called maintenance calories. And then if you want to lose a pound a week, to lose a pound a week, you have to be at a 3,500 calorie deficit a week. Okay, not a day, a week. So you would take that maintenance, whatever that is, and you would minus 500 calories. Now, if your maintenance isn't very high, let's say your maintenance calories are about 1,500 and you take 5 off of there, that puts you down to 1,000 calories. That's low calorie, right? That's very low calorie to lose a pound a week. But calories do matter. How do you take those calories back up and still lose weight? You gotta move. You gotta move. You know, I have clients that come on and they say, well, Ali, I go to the gym 3-4 times a week, 5 times a week. And I look at the rest of their week and I'm like, okay, so what's your job? Well, I sit at a desk most of the time. I work on the computer. I'm answering phones, whatever it might be. But they're not getting a lot of movement in. And I'll say, how many steps are you getting in a day? Well, I really don't know. Or maybe I'm getting 2,000, 3,000 steps a day. And I'll tell them, well, you're really sedentary. But Ali, I go to the gym. I don't think you heard me. I go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. Okay, how long are you at the gym? About 45 minutes, usually at the most. Okay, so 45 minutes plus 45 minutes plus 45 minutes out of all those hours of the week is when you're active. And you're barely moving the rest of the week. You're barely moving at all. And so therefore you're burning less calories. So you know what you gotta do? You gotta move more. If you wanna keep your calories higher and not drop them down to 1,000 to lose a pound a week, if your maintenance is at 1,500, then you're gonna have to move. That means just like driving a car, you gotta move it to use the gas, right? The harder you drive your car, they say you burn more gas. You get worse gas mileage. You're burning up your fuel, right? Same with you in the gym, and same with you every day. If you are going hard at it, like work in the gym, you're burning some fuel. But don't underestimate those times when you're taking Sunday drives. Okay, those days when you aren't at the gym, or you're just hitting the gym for 45 minutes, but the rest of your 24 hours is just like this. Don't underestimate them and think that movement doesn't matter, because it does. Just like driving your car on a Sunday drive burns some calories. It may not burn like you're in the gym, but the walking and the steps do matter. So make sure that you get those steps in and that you're burning enough calories to lose weight. A lot of times we have our calories way too high or we aren't tracking them. There's some simple ways to track it out there. Use MyFitnessPal app, it's free. All kinds of ways to track it out there. And you know what? You will see what your calories kind of are and just start bringing them down. Bring them down and you'll start losing weight. You'll know what your food should look like. You'll know what calories it takes to help you lose weight, or hire a coach. That's what I do all the time. I do it every day, all day long. I figure calories and macros. So if we figure our calories, we will lose weight. But what about macros? Why are they important? And what are macros? Just like I said a minute ago, macros are proteins, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat you eat every day. How many of you have gone on a low carb diet and not lost weight? How many of you? I was one of those people. Are you one of those people? Who's gone on a low carb diet? I want to hear from you. All right, me. I have. And I did not lose weight. Why? Do you know why I didn't lose weight? Any guesses? Anybody in the comments? Why didn't I lose weight on a low carb diet? Because of calories. My calories were much too high. I didn't understand it. I was eating very low carb, so I should have lost weight, right? Because carbs, you know, we shouldn't eat them, right? No, I eat carbs every day. Now that I'm more fit, I eat carbs all the time. And on my journey to lose weight, I ate carbs every single day. More carbs than I ever ate for years before that, because I kept hearing carbs are bad, carbs are bad, carbs are bad. When really, when our calories are too high, that's what makes us gain weight. Carbs aren't bad. They are not bad for you. As a matter of fact, some of the best looking bodies that people physique in physique contests, they are eating so many carbs. That's what caused me to start studying. When I saw how people in physique contests are eating so many carbs and they are some of the leanest people and some of the most attractive bodies that you will see on this planet at any age. And so whenever I realized that, I thought, carbs are not the problem. What's the problem? The problem is usually too high of calories, okay? Too high of calories. But macros, proteins, carbs, and fats still matter. They still matter, okay? I'm seeing quite a few of you ladies on here, and I do appreciate you joining me tonight. I give a lot of free information out because I love helping women. This is what I do for a living every single day of my life. And you know, I changed my life after the age of 51. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're in this group. It means a lot to me to have you here. But I need to get feedback from you, and I need to hear from you because I want more people in our group to be able to see these messages. I'm glad to do them for free, and I'm glad to help you for free. But if you would, please answer me back and let me know, because I'm live right now and it's hard to talk to myself without hearing from you. Okay, so please let me know because I love helping you, okay? I need to hear from you though. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you need to hear. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. I'm not doing this for any other reason but to give and bless you, okay? So let me know, all right? So if you have gone low carb and haven't lost weight, please let me know because I was one of those. So are carbs the problem? Carbs usually are not the problem. Now, carbs can be the problem when they're in excess because of calories. So if you're eating white sugar and if you're eating white bread all the time, it isn't really the carbs that are the problem. It's more so the calories that are the problem, okay? Now, we can become carb sensitive, which means if you ever heard the word insulin resistant, a lot of us women over the age of 40 can become insulin resistant. And because of that, we start getting fat around here, around our middle, and that's the scary fat. That's the visceral fat, right? And it starts gaining around here, and we don't know how to get it off. And a lot of times, whenever clients come on and they have a big tummy or a lot of fat on their sides and their back, like I had, that's where I gained it. Primarily was there. And I couldn't understand, why won't it go away? Why is it here? I've never had this before. How many of you are dealing with that? that might have to do with carbs. So the thing of it is, you might be insulin resistant. So when I see a client like that, I will drop her carbs for a while, and I'll say it's the kind of carbs I want you eating. So I want you relying on mostly complex carbs. Complex carbs are things like whole grains, like 100% whole wheat, not wheat bread. It says wheat bread on it. It says 100% whole wheat. Those kind of things. Sprouted breads like Ezekiel bread, a whole grain rice. Those types of things are really good for you. They're not bad carbs. They're good. They're complex carbs. If you Google complex carbs online, it is going to give you a list of just complex carb foods. Those are really good, healthy foods for you to eat. They have fiber in them, so the sugar in them doesn't break down real quickly. And then there are simple carbs. What are simple carbs? Does anybody know what some of those are? List them below. Give me some ideas. They're sugars, right? Sugars, things that make your blood sugar rise really quick, like ice cream, white sugar, right? Like, white flour, those types of things. Orange juice without fiber in it is going to make your blood sugar go, boom. And so those are the things that are simple sugars. And whenever we have a lot of resistant fat around here, or insulin resistance, or we're dealing with that, like have this and we can't get off, that means our body is really fighting against those, and our blood sugar is spiking, and we're storing more and more of that fat. So if that's you, you may want to consider low carb, and the only carbs you eat for a while. And I don't believe in low carb very long, but that will help you bring that middle off most times, okay? So focus on the complex carbs and not the simple carbs, and that will help change your middle section, and that's what I did. But you need to know what those carbs should look like for you. So, we don't know how many of them we're supposed to have every day. Low carb is one thing, high carb is another. And for you, it might look a different way than another person. And why is that? That is because of our height, our weight, and our age. Some of us can withstand more carbs than others. Okay, so don't think a low carb diet is the answer, because just like I told you, I didn't lose weight. You have to, calories matter. You have to track those calories. You have to know where you are with those calories. So, are carbs bad? No, they're beautiful. I love carbs. I eat carbs. But I have got my middle down, and I'm using carbs now as energy, and I use them for fuel in the gym and to help me actually build more muscle. Right? And so let's go on to the next macro. The next macro is protein. And this is one that I harbor on with almost every client that I have. It is so important. And so many of us women, especially as we age and get older, let our protein drop and drop and drop. Ladies, we can't do that. Protein is an essential nutrient. And by essential nutrient, I mean this. Without protein, we die. With low protein, we don't heal well. We start losing major amounts of muscle. And that is an awful place to be, because it slows our metabolism down. And as we age, 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe some of us hopefully will live into our hundreds, that's a problem. When we have less muscle, when we fall, we cannot get up. We will break bones. We will injure ourselves. Protein helps our bodies heal. We cannot live without protein. Protein in meat is vital. I have a lot of women that come on and say, I've heard meat is bad for me and I don't want to eat it because it causes heart disease. Listen to me, ladies. I want you to think about this. I want you to listen to me very clearly. How did our ancestors survive for thousands or millions of years? How did we survive? How did we live as a human race? We ate meat and vegetables. Okay, so don't be afraid of meat. There are so many vitamins in your meat. Don't be afraid of meat. So many of those people who say don't eat meat, eat vegetarian sources of protein, If we only vegetarian sources of protein, our protein levels drop. Ladies, if we have low protein, we don't heal correctly. If you have to have a surgery and your protein's low, it would be very hard for you to heal from that surgery and take you a long time to recover. Keep your protein up. What should your protein look like? Once again, it varies by age, your weight, and your height. All of that comes into play with how much protein you should have. And believe it or not, some people think as we age, our protein needs go down. They do not. As we age, our protein needs actually go up. How many of you have started eating less protein over the years? I have. Am I the only one? Are you out there? How many of you have ate less protein over the years? I have. And so we need to make sure that our protein is consistent. Back in World War II, I'm going to make this a really quick, but this is a very true story. Many of our troops in World War II were dying from very small injuries, so much so that our government stepped in and went to the doctors and said, why is there such a high death rate from such not so serious injuries even? Why are our men dying? And the doctor said, well, we believe it's because they're not getting much protein. They aren't healing. So back then, the average weight of a man was 143 pounds. Can you believe that? 143 pounds for a man, a grown man, was the average weight in World War II. So the government said, we're going to supply our troops with more protein. And those men started taking in 250 grams of protein daily if they could. And I will tell you right now, I've eaten 150 grams of protein a day, and that would be 100 more than that. That is huge amounts, large, very large amounts of protein. They didn't have protein powders back then. It was meat that they had to consume. And I'm going to tell you that was a large amount of meat. But here's what happened. The survival rate went up by 50% just because they increased their protein. Protein is a vital nutrient that we cannot live without. I've harbored on it long enough, but I'm going to tell you this. Can we live without carbs? Yes. We can completely exist without carbs, though I love them, and I don't believe we should stay on low-carb diets very long, if at all. I love them, but they are not needed. Fats, healthy fats, do we need them? Yes. Are they essential? Yes, but we can live on a low-fat diet. It will mess our hormones up. It will mess our skin up. It will mess us up and wreck us mentally and emotionally, and because our hormones will be a mess. But can we live on low fat? Yes. Can we live on low protein? Yes. You will not heal right. You will feel awful. You'll get muscle loss. You'll start storing fat. You'll get weak. Can we live without protein? No. And I know that I stood on my soapbox for a minute, but I need you to hear me. Do not be worried about protein. Get it up. Unless you have kidney disease, then you should not worry about your protein. You need to get it up. And here's the thing. Will high protein give you kidney disease? No, it will not. That is a myth. It is proven to be a myth and not a fact. So when you hear people say that, ignore it. Now, if you have kidney disease, eating high protein, yes. You should not do that. Talk to your doctor. Find out how much protein you should be having. So I've worked on that enough. Protein, one more thing. If your protein is low and your calories are low to lose weight, here's what happens. Same thing. Your body will consume your protein, your body will consume your muscle. Okay? And so when you are on a calorie deficit, you want to make sure that your protein is higher so that your body does not consume your muscle and bring your metabolic rate down, bring your metabolism down. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are eating protein and making sure if your calories are low to lose weight, that protein is high. It's very, very important. Carbs. Yes, I talked all about carbs. I'm not going to go back into those. Fats. You should know what your fats are daily, and the reason they are important is because this. Like I talked about hormones a few minutes ago, If your hormones are messed up, you'll want to focus on your fats. Make sure you're getting healthy fats. I'm not talking about the bacon. Who loves bacon besides me? I love bacon. I love it, but I don't eat it anymore. But I love it. And I don't eat it because I absolutely hate it. It makes me sick. I can't really take it anymore. So something about it messes me up. But I love to smell it cooking and all of that jazz. But I don't eat it. But here's the thing. I'm talking about the healthy fats like avocado. I'm talking about nuts, those kind of healthy fats. Get those in because those are important. If your hormones are jacked up, one reason why that might be happening is that you're not getting in those healthy fats. Those healthy fats help carry our hormone levels. So when we drop the fats out, then our hormones are kind of all over the place and our hormones are dropping out even worse. So if you're going through menopause, make sure you're eating things like avocado, nuts, salmon, all of those kind of, look up healthy fats on Google and it'll give you a list of some really, really good foods. Start incorporating those into your life. It's going to help you with a lot of things like hot flashes, help balance your hormones, make you feel better, make your skin more vibrant. If you've got really dry skin, it's going to help with that. You just got to keep eating it. Don't just try it once and think it didn't work. You got to be consistent. Okay, but too high of fat is also a problem, and so that's why you got to understand what your fat should look like. Too high of fat means that even if your calories are lower and you're trying to lose weight and your fat is, let's say, 80, 90, 100 grams, what happens is your body said, ooh, I'm going to burn this fat that you're taking in instead of this fat around your middle. So you have to make sure that your fats are not too high, but not too low. So you want to find a balance for those. As a coach, that's what I help my ladies do. I help you understand what your calories, your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, and all of that should look like. Now, calories determine, for the most part, what your body weighs on the scale. It doesn't take into account how much muscle you have or how much fat. It is just a total of muscle and fat. It shows you that. And calories on this, will show that on the scale. So if you want to lose weight, the first place to start is calories. But macros determine what your body looks like as you lose weight. Macros, those proteins, carbs, and fats, tell your body whether it's going to be more muscular or it's going to be more fat. That's why macros are so important. So my body, have you ever seen women at the same weight? Look them up on the internet. Some have more muscle at 135 pounds and some have more fat at 135 pounds, but it's the same woman and she looks completely different in both pictures. I have a picture of a lady at 180 pounds and 181 pounds. In one picture, she has more muscle and so she's very small. And in the other picture at 180 pounds, which she's a pound less, she's much larger. And the difference is they have more fat and less muscle over here, and they have more muscle and less fat over here, and it changes the look of your body. So I always hear ladies say, muscle weighs more than fat. Well, it weighs the same on the scale. 5 pounds of muscle and 5 pounds of fat weigh the same on the scale. So it doesn't really weigh more than fat. What it means is, what they mean by that, or they don't quite understand that, because I didn't understand that either. The volume of fat for 5 pounds is like this. I mean, it's a huge volume. The volume of muscle for 5 pounds is like this. And that's why when you see a woman at the same weight and she has more muscle and less fat, she's much smaller. And that's why macros, proteins, carbs, and fats are important, because they tell your body how much muscle you're going to have on your body when you lose weight. That's why at the beginning of this talk, I told you I had gone on these crash diets. I wasn't watching my proteins, my carbs, and my fats. I didn't understand it. I was just going very low calorie. And so when I showed up at my weight loss goal on the scale, I looked awful and I felt awful. And the reason was I didn't understand that protein was essential, that my carbs and the right kind were essential, that my fats, what they needed to look like. That's what I, as a coach, work with you individually on. And if you are interested in what I've talked about tonight has made you want to learn more, and if you're really serious about working with somebody and changing your life, this is what I've done. And this is what I do every single day. I got in shape and lost the weight and transformed my body after the age of 51. I'm now 55. And this is what I do. And I'm going to tell you, this talk that I gave you is one that took me years to learn, because I didn't understand what my calories should even look like. I had no clue. I heard that don't go below 1,500 calories. And ladies, I want to tell you right now, my maintenance calories right now to stay the same weight are 1,550 calories. So if I would have stayed at 1,500 calories and tried to lose weight, like that magical number that they throw out, I would not have lost weight. I would not have lost weight. And that's why when I was on keto, I did not lose weight, because I thought I just need to eat less carbs. My calories were way too high. And I didn't understand why calories were important or what mine should even look like. And so that's why calories matter, and you got to find out what yours are. And so if I've piqued your interest tonight, I hope what I've taught you, or what I've taught you tonight here and spoke on, will help you. Tips and tricks, I looked for them everywhere. And I was so confused, and it took me so many years to learn what I have learned. And I love teaching you here. But I'm going to tell you, tips and tricks left me beating my head against the wall. It left me frustrated. And I come in here to teach you these things, and I don't want you to be frustrated. If you really want to change your body and your life, then hire me, work with me. If you don't care and how long it takes, I'm going to tell you it took me years to learn what I know, years. And I wish I would have invested in myself sooner. Here's what I get to do as a coach. I get to work one-on-one with you, and I get to teach you very quickly what works for you. We learn about your body, and you understand how your food works and what your calories and your proteins and your carbs and all that should be, and it transforms your body quickly. It is not that trial and error thing that I went through, that beating my head against the wall. I tried every supplement out there. I tried the patches, I tried the pills, I tried the fad diets, and I was getting nowhere fast, and I was frustrated, and I was miserable, and I didn't understand, and I was lost. And so many of my clients, when they come on, they're like, Allie, I am so confused. I think there's something wrong with me. I can't lose weight. I don't understand it. So why am I here? I'm here to give you free information, yes. But if you truly want to change your body and your life, that's what I do every day as a coach. I help my clients. I don't just throw something at you and go, there you go. We're not that kind of business. So if you're really serious, invest in yourself. Make an investment in your future and your life. Get rid of the confusion. Learn from somebody who's done it and change your life. And that's what I'm here for as well. So if you're in this group just to learn, then I'm glad you're here. But if you're really, really serious and you want to transform your body, that's also why I'm here. And if I don't put myself out there to help the women who are very serious about this and are ready to go now and are tired of feeling frustrated and confused, then I'm not a good coach. So I'm also going to offer you my services in hopes that some of you who are very, very serious and want to change your life and understand your body will come work with me. Because working with you one-on-one, you're going to learn so much more. I work with my clients daily, and I would love to work with you. And if you want to check me out, go to bodbabes.com. Very simple. And if you want to know more, reach out and send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. I hope you have a great night. I hope this talk has added value to your life. I hope you understand a little bit more about what your calories should look like, what your proteins, carbs, and your fats are also important. I love you. Have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon.